Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Unusual, the awesome Roblox RPG where you can get your hands on over 20 unique abilities. Now, I know what you're thinking. When you spin for one of these powers, how do you know if you've hit the jackpot or got stuck with something? Well, not so great. Don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we're breaking down the ultimate ability tier list so you can figure out which ones are worth grinding for and which ones are best left behind. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. As I've put more and more time into Unusual, I've realized the old tier list needed a major update, so here we are with the refreshed version. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, this list will help you level up your game. From stat buffs to new moves, we'll be going over everything you need to know to make the most out of every ability. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's get into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking abilities in Unusual. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Illumination, Needles, and Rock Arm. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of these D tier abilities in Unusual. Now, I know some of you are thinking, D tier, why even bother? But hey, sometimes you're stuck with what you've got, or maybe you're just curious about what makes these abilities end up at the bottom of the pile. Either way, buckle up because we're diving deep into Illumination, Needles, and Rock's Arm to figure out why these might not be your first pick, unless you've got a thing for underdogs. First up, we have Illumination, and oh boy, this one's a bit of a mixed bag. Its Z skill, Illumination Flash, blinds nearby enemies for about 3 seconds, which sounds neat, until you realize that the cooldown is around 12 seconds. I mean, sure, you get a little window to escape or reposition, but it's pretty short-lived. Plus, if you don't time it perfectly, you might find yourself still in trouble. On the bright side, when in ability mode, it gives you a 10% movement speed boost, so at least you can zoom away from your problems, if only just a little bit faster. Next, let's chat about Needles. The Z skill here, Needle Throw, sounds pretty fierce at first glance. It shoots 3 needles in a line, each dealing about 75% damage. Cool, right? Well, not really. The downside is that the cooldown is around 10 seconds, which isn't too bad but isn't great either. Plus, the linear shot means you've got to have some pretty precise aim, and we all know how that goes when you're mid-fight and everything's chaotic. Still, like Illumination, it gives you a 10% movement speed boost in ability mode, so you're at least a little quicker on your feet. But really, there's nothing too special here that's going to make your enemies quake in their boots. And finally, we've got Rock Arm. Now, this one's kinda like that friend who always shows up but never really stands out. In ability mode, it grants a 10% movement speed boost and, wait for it, a 20% damage increase based on your level. It's not terrible, but it's nothing game-changing either. The damage boost is nice, sure, but at the end of the day, you'd want something with a bit more punch or utility. Rock Arm feels like it's trying to do a little of everything but ends up not excelling at anything. It's like a jack of all trades but master of none, and in the D tier, that's not enough to save it, so there you have it. These abilities are kinda like those tools you keep in your garage, just in case, but never actually end up using. They're not completely useless, they have their moments, but they're definitely not your go-to choices if you're aiming for that top tier play. But hey, if you're up for a challenge or just want to mess around, give these a spin. You might discover some funky ways to make them work, or at least have a laugh while trying. Let me know in the comments if any of you have found some secret sauce with these abilities that I missed, or if you've got any D-tier horror stories to share. I'm all ears. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Stone Skin, Strength, Catch Up, Strong Punches, Heat Palm, Speed, Repulsion, Phantom Fist, Regeneration, Quick Strike, and Heavy Hitter. Let's dive into the wild world of abilities in Unusual. We're exploring some solid C tier options that might just surprise you. These abilities may not be the flashiest, but they pack a punch in their own right. So grab your gear and let's break down what each of these skills has to offer. First up, we have Stone Skin. This ability gives you a slight bump in movement speed, but what really stands out is that tasty damage boost that scales with your level. With around 60% increased damage, it's a reliable choice if you want to get up close and personal while still maintaining some mobility. Just imagine charging into the fray, feeling as tough as a rock, and watching your enemies crumble. Next, let's talk about catch up. This one's a bit of a game changer. The Z skill grants a whopping 100% speed boost for about 10 seconds, perfect for making a speedy escape or closing the gap on your foes. While it's on cooldown, you still get a decent 20% movement speed boost and a little extra damage. It's all about that fast-paced gameplay, and this ability helps you stay ahead of the competition. Moving on to Heat Palm, which adds some flair to your arsenal. Not only do you get to shoot a burst of fiery damage with a nice 125% impact, but you can also ignite enemies. Talk about making a sizzling impression. With a cooldown of just 15 seconds, you can keep the pressure on, and those movement speed and damage bonuses really make this ability a well-rounded option for your combat toolkit. Then we have Repulsion, an ability that's all about crowd control. When you unleash the almighty push, you deal a hefty 150% damage in an area around you while knocking enemies back. It's a fantastic way to create space when things get too crowded. Plus, the added movement speed and damage increase mean that you're not just pushing back, but also pushing forward in terms of overall effectiveness. Don't sleep on Phantom Fist either. This ability adds a unique twist to your attacks. When you strike, a phantom projection joins the fray, extending your range and dishing out extra damage. Imagine launching a regular attack and then watching your phantom leap forward to nail the enemy from a distance. That's not just effective, that's downright cool. Lastly, we can't forget about Quick Strike. This ability enhances your attack speed, giving you a boost of 100% based on your level. Combine that with the 20% damage increase, and you're looking at a perfect option for those who like to overwhelm opponents with rapid-fire assaults. Whether you're taking on bosses or challenging players, Quick Strike ensures that you stay on the offensive, keeping enemies guessing and on their toes. So there you have it. These C-tier abilities in Unusual may not be the creme de la creme, but they certainly have their moments. Whether you're looking for speed, damage, or crowd control, there's something in this lineup to fit your playstyle. Happy gaming, and may your battles be filled with surprises. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Superhuman, Impact, Invisibility, Armor Suit, Super Strength, and Healing. Alright folks, let's dive into the B tier abilities in Unusual. These skills may not be the absolute top tier, but they bring some solid utility to the table, making them definitely worth checking out. Each of these abilities has unique features that can really spice up your gameplay, so let's break them down one by one. First up is Superhuman. This ability is all about speed and survivability. You get a nice boost to your movement speed, which is always a win, but it doesn't stop there. You also gain increased attack speed, which means you can rain down damage faster than ever. And for those tough fights, you'll appreciate the massive HP regeneration, perfect for sustaining in long battles. Level it up, and you'll be zooming around like a pro. Next, we have Impact. This ability might seem a bit more straightforward, but don't underestimate it. With a solid increase in movement speed, you can dodge attacks and reposition quickly. The real kicker here is the enhanced damage that scales with your level. That means as you grow stronger, so does your ability to pack a punch. Combine this with some agile gameplay, and you'll be a formidable opponent on the battlefield. Now, let's talk about Invisibility. This one is a game changer if you love sneaky strategies. The Z skill grants you self-invisibility for about 20 seconds, which can help you escape tight spots or set up for a surprise attack. But it gets even better. The X skill lets you and nearby players go invisible together. Imagine coordinating with your teammates for a stealthy ambush. It's like a ninja squad. Plus, a little movement speed boost helps you get away quickly if things go south. Moving on, we have the Armor Suit. While it's a bit of a work in progress, the defense boost it provides can be a lifesaver. Coupled with the increased movement speed, you can be both a tank and a nimble fighter. Sure, it might not have the most noticeable effect right now, but don't count it out. It can set you up nicely for more defensive plays. Let's not forget about Super Strength. If you're a fan of brute force, this ability is calling your name. The Z skill allows you to leap into the air and slam down with an area of effect attack, dealing significant damage to anyone caught in the blast. That's right, who doesn't love a good ground slam? Plus, the increased movement speed means you can get in and out of combat quickly, making you a real powerhouse on the field. Finally, we have Healing. This ability might not seem flashy, but it's crucial for team survival. The Z skill lets you spawn a healing circle, providing a steady stream of HP regeneration for nearby allies. Picture it, you're in a heated battle, and suddenly your team gets a much needed boost of health. Plus, with that movement speed increase, you can position yourself effectively to keep your team alive while dodging enemy attacks. So there you have it, the B tier abilities in Unusual. They may not be the absolute best, but they offer a lot of strategic options to enhance your gameplay. Remember, it's not always about having the top tier abilities, it's about how you use them. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, duplication and lightning. Alright, let's dive into some exciting abilities from Unusual. Today, we're focusing on two A tier characters, duplication and lightning. These heroes not only pack a punch, but also bring some seriously unique skills to the battlefield that can turn the tide in any match. So, grab your popcorn, because things are about to get electrifying. First up, we have duplication. Imagine having a small army at your command. With the clone conjuration skill, duplication can summon 2 to 3 clones to join the fray. These little guys aren't just for show, they deal 1 DMG with each attack, making them perfect distractions while you unleash chaos on your enemies. And if that's not enough, the twin barrage skill lets duplication summon a clone that rapidly assaults an enemy, dealing a whopping 200% DMG. It's like having a buddy who's always ready to back you up, and with just a 12-man cooldown, you can keep the pressure on your foes. Now, let's not forget about lightning. If you like a little zap with your combat, this character is the way to go. The shockwave discharge skill allows lightning to dash forward, releasing a burst of lightning that deals 150% DMG. That's a shocker you don't want to miss. And let's talk about the Electrolance. With this ability, you can jump into the air and shoot a lightning bolt that hits like a freight train, dealing 175% DMG on impact. On top of all that, lightning offers some incredible perks, an increase in movement speed, attack speed, and DMG based on your level. So whether you want to charge into battle or strike from above, lightning's got you covered. In conclusion, both duplication and lightning bring their own flavor to the game with their skills. Whether you prefer to summon an army of clones to overwhelm your enemies or unleash devastating lightning attacks, these A-tier characters are sure to make your gameplay experience thrilling. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, try out these abilities, and let me know in the comments which one you enjoy using the most. The abilities in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Barrier, Time Manipulation, Limitless, and Aura Manipulation. Alright folks, let's dive into the mind-bending world of Unusual and break down some of the most epic abilities that will have you questioning reality itself. If you're looking to dominate the competition, you'll want to master these S-tier abilities. Trust me, they're not just good, they're game changers. First up, we have Barrier, which is as versatile as it gets. Imagine spawning a protective wall right in front of you. Not only can you and your teammates slip through it, but it's also destructible, giving you a tactical advantage. And if you're feeling a little more aggressive, you can shrink that barrier to crush your foes, dealing a whopping 200% damage. The Spikes ability? Just brutal. You summon spikes that nail your enemies for 150% damage. Combine this with the ability to encase an enemy in a tiny barrier, and you've got a recipe for chaos on the battlefield. Next, let's chat about time manipulation, because who doesn't want to mess with time? The time skip ability lets you teleport forward, making you hard to pin down. But wait, there's more. You can freeze your enemies in place, making them sitting ducks for 5 whole seconds. Ever been stuck in a time loop? With resume time, you can clear any unwanted time-stopping effects from other players. Plus, if things get dicey, just stop time entirely in a massive area. And the best part? You can heal yourself and your buddies while reversing time. Now, that's the kind of time travel I can get behind. And how could we forget about the absolute powerhouse Limitless? With abilities like Reverse Red and Max Blue, you'll be dealing insane damage and controlling the battlefield like a pro. The Limitless beatdown takes it a step further by teleporting you right into the fray to unleash a flurry of punches. But for that jaw-dropping moment, just smash those colors together with Hollow Purple. Nuke. This bad boy will deal 300% damage in a massive area, leaving your opponents reeling. Trust me, once you start using these abilities, they won't know what hit them. Last but not least, we have aura manipulation. This ability lets you copy and adapt another player's skills to match your own stats. How cool is that? With Aura Swap, you can seamlessly switch between two abilities that you've stored, keeping your opponents guessing. And hey, if you want to get creative, you can open up an ability menu to check out all the options you have. So whether you're looking to defend, control, or obliterate your enemies, these S-tier abilities in Unusual are your ticket to glory. What are you waiting for? Get out there and start experimenting with these incredible powers. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.